How's it going? It's Charles Botensten from Botensten Properties International, and today we're going to be talking about something that is a little bit unique, something that I actually read in a book for business, and I looked at it immediately, and I applied it to my business and hiring, and you should do it as a seller on picking an agent. So the agent, you schedule the appointment, you schedule the pitch or whatever, you meet with the agents. This is what I recommend, is you do a walk-in interview. Very unique, very special, but it's incredible. So you schedule the interview or the pitch, the agent's on its way, on its way. They arrive and they're a monster. They arrive to your door or your apartment, you open the door, hey, how's it going, Charles or whoever else? You know what? Let's hold off on this. Let's just go around the corner. Let's grab some coffee. Yeah. Oh, I thought the real estate agent's going to say, I thought we were just going to go in and tour it and then we could do it here. As the seller, hold back and say, you know what? We're going to do a walking tour. See the neighborhood. Get them out of their comfort zone. There's so many benefits to this. Number one, when hiring, you want to make sure that you get along with the person, because you are literally getting into a relationship with that real estate agent. You are going to be talking to them consistently. You're going to have tough times. You're going to have great times. But ultimately, you want them to sell their apartment. But before you sell your apartment, you are going to be on a long relationship with them. And obviously, it's more intense if you're buying the apartment because you're going to be just really close with that person. So this is what you do. Say you're going to meet for the first time as a buyer's agent, or meet someone to represent you as a buyer. Say, we'll meet at my apartment, or we'll meet somewhere else. Once you say, hey, listen, let's actually go to another place. So the benefits to this is you really get to know their personality, because they're out of their comfort zone. They had no idea that you were going to be doing this. So they have to ad lib. They're just like, okay. Yeah, sure. They're not going to say no. Why would they say no? No, let's do it here. I only do it here. As a seller, be like, listen, we're going to go to the coffee shop. I just need to grab a coffee and then we'll come back. And do come back. As a seller, as a buyer, go to somewhere else. When you're on the street, see how they treat the neighbors, see how they treat the dogs that walk by. Do they let you walk in front? Do they walk fast? Do they have good rapport? The reason being is this is how they're going to treat buyers coming to your apartment. This is their true personality. When they're in the safe zone is what I call it. The safe zone is we tour the apartment, we sit down together at the kitchen table, and I pitch, which I hate, I present the unique selling proposition that I have over the 24,000 other agents. What would really get me out of my comfort zone, and which I would really like, is that you would say, you know what, before we go inside, let's go on a tour of the neighborhood, or I need to grab coffee, and really do grab coffee. See if they pay. How do they treat the barista or the baristo? I don't know, is there a male term to the barista? Unless it's unisex. Do they open the door? There's just little things that you really get to know them because they're interacting with the public. They're interacting with other people they don't know. And that's essentially who the buyer and the seller agents and their clients are going to be. They're strangers. How are they going to interact? Do they hold the door? Do they hold the elevator? Do they smile? Are they positive? Do you just get a good feeling? You get that good feeling right here, right in your heart. You can't logically say, well, they were fun and da-da-da. No, your heart says, you know what? I think they're faking it. When someone's in the comfort zone, as I was discussing before, that means they come to your apartment, and they've done this many times. They come to your apartment, they walk in, they shake your hand, they say, let's go on a tour, let's sit at the kitchen table. They've done that so many times. What they haven't done is walk out with the seller, or if they're meeting a buyer, to walk out and say, oh, we're not going to meet here. I can't just be in my little comfort zone here. We have to go out. Once you put them outside the comfort zone, that's when you really get to know who they are. And that's the person you want to choose, the person that is All right, cool, let's do it. Because you're gonna need that during the transaction. You're gonna need that person that's just not rigid. No transaction. Yeah, there's a bunch of transactions. I would say 50% of the transactions are just very straightforward. Here's the offer, here's what we're gonna pay, thank you, contract signed, board package in, blah, blah, blah. Then you have 50% that actually, it feels like most of them, there's gonna be a small problem. In circumstances, there's gonna be a huge problem. I had a buyer that we were, I think, 2 days out from closing, or maybe it was the day before, and the bank ran her credit, and her credit dropped like 150 points. And the reason it dropped 150 points is that she had an automated payment going out every single month to pay down an installment debt. So an installment debt is you have a balance, say a car or another home or a big purchase, and you pay each month a certain amount till you, or student loans. Student loans is the best example. Every single month I pay $1,200 or $1,500, $1,800, whatever. So 1 month there was a glitch and the check didn't go out. And it was 90 days overdue. And it hit her credit. It was 30 days overdue, then 60 days, then 90 days over, and it smashed her credit. It dropped it. The bank said, we're not financing. We were closing the next day. What do? I get on the phone with the bank, and I say, listen, can we just write a letter? They didn't want to admit the problem. They didn't want to admit the problem publicly. I said, okay, fine. If you don't want to admit it publicly, please just call the bank that's willing to lend, call the attorneys, just say we had something, we had a glitch, it wasn't our fault. Do it verbally, whatever the case is, we ended up closing the next day. You need someone that doesn't freak out. Someone that would freak out on what? We have to go on a walking tour is someone that you don't want on your team. You want someone that's free-flowing, that thinks outside the box. Oh, we're going on a walking tour? Cool, let's go. Where do you want to go? Also, during the walking tour, you can ask them about the area. Oh, do you know this building? Do you know that coffee shop? Do you know this barber? Do you know who lives there? You know, listen, that's different because I would not choose the agent based on the area because the agent will find out about the area. You know, yes, they should know the basics, but the specifics, you know, it's going to be really once they get the agreement signed, then they'll really get to know the area. At least that's what I am. I'm like 40% into knowing the area. I know the basics. I know most of the specifics, but once I get the agreement signed and I'm putting the home on the market, boom, okay. And I just take visual notes before the first open house. So when people say, okay, what did that sell? That sold for this? Oh, you like coffee? You like a bakery? You want a nice restaurant? That was rated by Food and Wine as one of the best in New York City. You know, you go around like that. Walking tours are amazing. I use it at your job too. I use it at mine. I say, oh, welcome to my office, which, you know, I'm looking at the door. Welcome to the office. How's it going? Let's go outside. I got to grab some coffee. You go outside, you really get to know who they are. You really do. So do a walking tour. I highly recommend it. Thank you for watching. This weekend, it looks like, oh, it's such a beautiful day out today. It's October 2nd, 3rd here in New York City. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. 2 ways to follow Botensten Properties International. The best 2 ways is Instagram and obviously subscribe to this channel. We put out a video every weekday. We're going to start doing neighborhood tours and building tours and unique areas because we know that we're a media company trying to give you as much value as we can. So subscribe to our video channel. This is the way that I actually turn off the video, which is cool. It's a live view. I know I've showed it to you multiple times, but have a great weekend. Any questions, let us know. Subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram. We're obviously on the other social media networks, but those are our favorites. And it's going to continue going, I guess. That's a blooper. Anyway, I tried to pause it. Here we go. Now it's going to work.